I want to talk about Michael Jackson ears today. Yep, I'm going there. Coming up next on Pastor Bob Daily. I have a good friend that used to play with Michael Jackson, and he's played with so many people. I love hearing his stories, but especially his stories about Michael Jackson's genius. And he said that, they used to practice hard, and they hired just the best of the best musicians. Best musicians, the best dancers, the best singers, the best sound people, the best lighting people. I mean, his shows were amazing. And he said they used to practice months and months, and then one day Michael Jackson would come in and perform with them. And he said he would come on stage, and he didn't just listen, he performed. He sang, he danced, he did the whole thing with them. And then at the end of the song, he would tell them what needed to be done. He would say, now, the guitar part in the fourth measure, you played this chord, I'd rather you play this chord. The lighting, you had two spots on this particular area, I want you to do this instead. The singers, you were singing thirds, I wanted you to sing a fifth right there on the 14th measure. And he would just go through this, and he said every time Michael did this, everybody was just amazed because the best of the best couldn't hear what he was able to hear. And he would come in and just blow everybody away. And it wasn't that he was intensely listening, because he was also singing and dancing at the same time. And a total genius. Whatever you might think of Michael Jackson, he was a genius, musically speaking. But how did he listen to those little things? How was he able to put together that kind of music? And every song, it seems like, that he wrote was different than the last one. And man, he was so good at it. How? When I listen to music, sometimes I listen to it over and over and over again. I have those albums that I love, and I've listened to 100 times at least. And every time I listen to them, I hear something just a little bit different that maybe I didn't hear before. And I love that when I think about how I listen to God, because it's sometimes the same thing. The Bible says that he has that still small voice. In other words, there's a lot of voices around us all the time. There's a lot of things trying to get our attention, a lot of sounds, people, situations vying for our attention. And how do we listen to that still small voice, that thing that maybe nobody else catches, that we need to catch? The Bible says, be still and know that I am God. And I've done that podcast before. I called it Shut Up and Listen. But how do you listen even with all the voices? How? You recognize his voice. Out of all of that, you recognize what's not there and who is there. You recognize that out of all the voices, you hear his. Parents are good at that with listening to their children. There can be a lot of children crying, but when their child starts to cry, they recognize that cry. When God begins to speak, you recognize that voice. There he is. And it's just much like that, folks. It's practicing the presence of God. It's getting used to him, getting familiar with him. So when you do hear his voice, it's him, because you've been listening for a while. Does it happen overnight? No. But it happens as you spend time with it. If you're frustrated that you're not hearing God's voice today, keep practicing. You will. God is not silent. He'll always let you know that he's there. And at this point in my life, I'm not great at it. I'm okay at it. And I appreciate the times when I'm able to pick out his voice and to hear him fairly clearly. Hope that helps. God bless you. Have a great day.